let's go to the Browns. They're getting their guys back that much needed. Sam,
Mhm.
biggest names obviously are Joel Bitonio, Denzel Ward, and I mentioned Kevin Johnson just because that's depth. And I think
Mhm.
the last game proved you need it.
Right.
We don't know about Jack Conklin yet, injury-wise. Those are all COVID guys, but we don't know about Jack Conklin.
Right.
Pick a name. Who's most valuable to get back?
Well, I think if you're speaking from just a name, who's most valuable, I'd probably go with Kevin Stefanski. I think just having your head coach on the
Oh,
sidelines
you wild carded me. You wild carded me.
in a game like this, man. You know, Kevin Stefanski, having him over there on the sidelines, making sure that we're staying aggressive. That's probably my biggest name. If we're talking biggest player, I'll go with Denzel Ward, man. Again, like when he's on the field, he's an all-pro type of talent. And you're going to need all the help that you can get in that secondary. I don't know. I don't know how the Browns are going to cover Tyreek Hill. It keeps me up at night. I have no idea what they're going to do, man. Like, there are visions in my head of Tyreek Hill running 10 yards behind Andrew Sendejo. But I will say that the one thing that has sort of helped me out with that has been that get up stat where they've only had 2 plays of 50 yards or more. You know,
Why
you
is
would
that?
expect.
Yeah, you're like, why is that? You actually start thinking about it. They're just slower this year in a way. It's like they almost don't want it as much during the regular season, which is a different story for the playoffs. But
Right. I don't know what that is, man. But I think if you're the Browns, you're happy to get Denzel Ward back, and you're happy to get Kevin Johnson back, like you said, for depth. It's going to allow those guys like MJ Stewart to make plays and to make them in a role that they're more suited for. Even guys like Terrence Mitchell, that takes a whole load off of him. And so the more corners you get, it's like the better every one of those players in the secondary gets. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to watch that. But Denzel Ward's going to be a big name getting back for him.
yeah, I just think the Browns didn't get blown up as much for people to be crying about Joel Bitonio. Obviously, there's the cool story with the 2 left guards. So I think, not that I'm not happy to get him back. Sam, are you worried about Denzel Ward having COVID issues? We've seen Myles Garrett really
Right.
struggle with it. He finally looks like he has his legs back. If I had to percentage him, I think he's at 80%. I still think it's weird. He needs plays off a little bit, but they did that every once in a while in the past. But
Right.
are you worried about that with Denzel? Not only has he not played, but Myles admittedly said multiple times, I don't have my wind. And like you
Right.
said, he's taken on Tyreek Hill. I respect Sammy Watkins a lot. And then I respect the fact that those guys are going to get mixed up and have to go against Travis Kelce.
Yeah. I mean, if you're having trouble breathing, the last guy you want standing across from you is someone nicknamed Cheetah. So I don't know, man. We've seen players come back and say, yeah, I feel great. I haven't had any symptoms. We've seen players like Myles Garrett say, yeah, this thing's still kicking my butt a couple weeks later. So am I concerned? I would say this. A Denzel Ward at 80% is probably better than 100% of Robert Jackson.
Agreed.
And bless the
Which,
man's
shout
heart.
out Robert Jackson. He
Right.
really has tried.
Right, man. That's all you can ask for. And you know what, Robert Jackson? You're playing in the divisional round, so you can give every bit of talk right back to Chase Claypool. But I will be happy.
Let me stop you there, Sam. I got a question for you real quick.
Let's hear it.
Robert Jackson at 100% or Greedy Williams with a nerve issue who hasn't played all year? Which one?
Oh man, I'd take Greedy Williams, man.
No.
There's Greedy. Oh man, I don't know if Greedy's even still on the team. I don't know what's going on with that
You thought
guy.
he texted a team doctor and asked if he could play last week, and they
I
were
mean,
not about it.
That's pretty convenient. Play what?
Who is this? Who is this? Dad?
He's walking around in fake crutches all week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I do hope we get Greedy back. I know you I don't know much about it, but like nerve injuries are nothing to mess with, I guess. So, you know, he obviously a non-contact nerve injury, really weird, but you hope to get him back. And then, you know, all the Claypool comments just made me think, man, I hope Grant Delpit is just having visions of knocking that guy senseless next year. And I know the ACL is different in football than it is anywhere else, but you know, I mean, you really think how different their safeties are going to be, or that whole secondary if they got greedy and then Delpit.
Right. And I'd envision with Andrew Berry being the analytics guy he is, they don't value linebackers very much. It's more like, oh, we can pick up a linebacker in the late rounds or sign a cheap one. So I think if the Browns aren't drafting an edge rusher early, which they very well might with Vernon's injury, I think they're going to target another corner or another safety. They're going to try and fill out that secondary quickly. So I think the secondary should look a lot better next year.
Should definitely add that they're going to get Olivier Vernon's $15 million. You know, they have money here and there kind of sitting there. I know they're going to have to make some decisions as far as like Ogunjobi. Nick Chubb's going to need to get paid earlier because they have no option on him. Like stuff like little things like that. But